Hi there, my name is Mikey Johnson. I'm a PhD student at the University of Nevada, Reno in the graduate program of hydrologic sciences. Today I'm going to be talking about my modeling efforts to quantify the effects of forest thinning on snow water resources. The motivation of this work I'm presenting focuses on water resource management and adaptive land cover change. That being said, I feel the need to acknowledge that mountain forest systems provide many other services, those of which are part of a greater project I'm working on. For more information, please look at the larger context section of my poster and see www.infuse.org. Okay, back to the poster. Here I'm looking at snowpack response to a basin-wide simulated forest thin. I'm interested where in the basin thinning improves peak snow water equivalent, or peak SWE, and how the timing of snowmelt changes with forest thinning. To perform this analysis, I'm using the physically based, spatially explicit, listed in Elder 2006 snow model. With this model, meteorological forcing data is distributed across the model domain. Snowpack accumulation and melt is simulated, and with addition to all the mass and energy fluxes in and out of the snowpack. Forest canopy effects are also simulated. Processes such as interception, shading, and dampening of wind is included in snow model. One improvement I made to the canopy effects was the introduction of spatially explicit percent canopy cover. This tells us in each individual grid cell how much is covered in forest and how much is open. Until now, snow model assumed that each forested grid cell was 100% forest, and now it can be anywhere from 0 to 100%. Including this new model parameter gives us a more spatially explicit, accurate representation of the snow in the forest and gives us the ability to perform this thinning test. My study site is the Mackenzie River Basin, a mountain watershed in the Oregon Cascades. I recognize that this is not Nevada, but this analysis and the results can still be used to further the discussion of resource management in the Sierra Nevadas and in Nevada's Basin and Range provinces. For this study, I simulate snow conditions for water year 2016. This is an average snowpack year. Two model runs are performed. One is the unthinned forest. This is canopy data from the National Land Cover Data Set for 2016. The other is a basin-wide thin, where we use that same data set, but we reduce all the canopy cover greater than 40% to 40%. To define thinning effectiveness, we look at two snowpack measurements. One, peak SWE, and the other, number of snow-covered days. Ideally, with a thin, we'd like to see that it would increase both of these values. That would indicate that we have more snow water available, and we have more snow water available later into the water year. Looking into my results, figure 3, we see that thinning generally increases peak SWE. 93% of the forested grid cells in this study site see this increase. In select cases, 6% of the forested grid cells, there is no change in peak SWE. This occurs when pre-existing canopy cover is less than our 40% thin, so it remains unchanged. Thinning resulting in a reduction of peak SWE is seen, but only in less than 1% of the cases. These locations were found to be on the tops of peaks and ridges and can be attributed to increased solar exposure in midwinter melt, decreasing the maximum SWE you can gain during that water year. The results in figure 4 show that change in snow-covered days has mixed results. In this case, we see that higher elevations have less snow-covered days. This is due to increased solar exposure promoting earlier melt. At lower elevations, we see the opposite. In this case, we believe that the increase in snow is outweighing the increase in snow exposure. Figure 5 shows the elevation bend mean seasonal SWE and cumulative fluxes. Here. This tells a similar story to both figures 3 and 4. Here I want to highlight the lower elevation ephemeral snow zone. This site benefits from the 40% thinning. We see an increase in peak SWE and an increase in snow-covered days, meaning more water and more water later into the season. Looking at the seasonal snow zone, both mid and high elevations, we see a drastically earlier melt due to the 40% thinning. From this we can take away, as you might expect, that no single forest treatment is adequate for every location within the watershed. I hypothesize that a mixed intensity thinning strategy across both aspect and elevation can increase basin-wide peak SWE, snowpack accumulation, snowpack persistence in this study site. In the next steps of the project, I plan to rerun this experiment with different thinning intensities ranging from 10% to 90%, and on both years of low snowpack and high snowpack. With these multiple model runs, I hope to develop an optimized thinning strategy that'll maximize snow water equivalent and snowpack persistence. With that, I would like to thank you for your time, and I look forward to the Q&A session. If you have a question or feedback and you are unable to make the Q&A session, feel free to send me an email at mikeyj@nevada.unr.edu. Thanks again. Have a good day.